This is the different stages that I'll take you through in order to be able to successfully add recordings made in your team to the Moodle course. So without further ado, I'll stop sharing and then we go to Jim for the first bit.
So we now have the facility to create a team for you from your Moodle module. And if you want to also create channels in your MS team, which correspond with groups in Moodle. So I'll be showing a bit of this by screenshots because there's time lags involved, but I'll show you the first steps that you need to create your team and then how you use your team in order to set up meetings. I'm showing you today basically how you can create equivalent of what you had in WebEx before. So live webinars and also a place, if you wish, for your students to group together in order to discuss group projects and things like that. As with all things in Moodle, initially you would turn editing on. And when you do that, you'll enable your block drawer here on the right-hand side, and you would choose Add a Block. So some of you are familiar with this functionality. You then get a list of all the blocks that are available to you. So these are all things that you could put on your Moodle course, and some of you will have them already. You would choose ENU Teams, and what that will do is create a block like this. Initially, it will be at the bottom of your module, but we can move that up. I'll show you that in a minute. And you have a button here which invites you to request an MS team. So if you click on that, it will then change to telling you that that request has been recorded and it's going to be processed, and it's promising you that within 2 hours this button should be active and you should have a team. And if you find that's not the case, then get in touch with the IS service desk and they'll investigate for you. So what that team looks like, that team button rather, when you come back is like this. It will start live, as I said, down at the bottom. You'll have a button now that says go to team, and we'll have a look at this in a minute. Managing channels for groups. If you prefer this block to be at the top, if you click on your crosshair icon, you can just quickly move it to the top by clicking on the topmost block you have already, and that will go above it to the top if you wish. You can also drag it to different places. So if you wanted it second in a list, for example, you could do that. So up to you. So in addition to the facility to go to the team, which we'll do in a minute, as we mentioned, you have options with groups. If you want to set up private channels for your students, which might be something you're considering if they're doing a group assignment and you want them to get together to discuss this in shared documents, then you can do that based on Moodle groups. Now, there is a drawback. In order to create these private channels, and these are the only ones that you're allowed to create with this feature at the moment, you need to be in the group yourself in Moodle. So what that means is that you're going to have maybe 2 sets of groups. You're going to have these, obviously you can't be in the group that you're using for the group assignment. It's just the students that you want in that group. But if you want these channels to mirror the groups for the group assignment, you're going to have another set of groups which include you in it. To the best of my knowledge, that's the only way you'll be able to do that. And if you do that, then when you set up the group assignment, you're going to include the groups that are only for the private channels with you in them in your filters, which is going to be annoying and distracting. So you would need to have a grouping for your group assignment. This is all quite simple to do, and I can talk you through it. Or if you normally speak to Paul or another learning technologist, we can talk you through it. But just a heads up on that, you will find that you'll want to filter out the groups which aren't related to the group assignment. And the way you do that is through groupings. Let me just do a quick refresher on how you would create a group. So down here under participants, you have the option to look at your groups. There's a couple already created. To create a group, you simply click on there, give it a group name. Usually that's all you need to do. You can safely accept the rest of the settings, defaults. Once you've created a group, then if you were using it in order to create channels, then you would include yourself. You can see here, I've got my notional students in here, which are actually teaching colleagues here, but they're classified as students in here, and I am in that group as a teacher at the moment. And doing that, setting up the groups in that way means that you would see here a report that you have these groups in Moodle. Do you want to go ahead and create private channels for them? And I would go ahead and do this. Since I've already created the channel, it's just given me an option to delete the channel. But initially, when you create such groups, you will be invited to create a channel if you wish. Once you've decided on your options here, you can create them private channels on the team itself. So it's up to you to consider what you think is going to work best for you. Once you've done all that, you can actually click on Go to Team, and you'll get your team here. And if you've set up any groups, you'll also see them in place. So I'll just say a few words about how you would manage your team and then how you would set up meetings. So to manage your team, you click on the three dots at the top here, top level. You have the option to go in and see your members. So team members, many of you will be aware, consists of owners and ordinary members. So owners will be the teachers. If you're a teacher on the Moodle course, you will be an owner of the team for that course. And it's maybe at this point that you'll realize that there's some people in here you might not wish to be. There might be colleagues who are no longer responsible for the module or even have left the university. If you find that, then just contact School Office and ask them to remove those members of staff from your course via eVision. That will then refresh your Moodle course, which will in turn refresh this team, and that will remove anybody who shouldn't be an owner from both your Moodle course and the team. Down here, you have your ordinary members. So these would be your students normally. And you're at liberty to remove these. But if they are actually legitimate members of your module, then they will be reapplied again. System basically refreshes every few hours. So someone who's a student on your Moodle course, you could delete them if you felt a need for it on the team for a while, but unless you take further action in order to remove them from the module, they will return back into the team because the team is driven, its data is driven by your Moodle module, and that in turn is driven by our mothership system, which sits in eVision. And I'll just look at your options for creating meetings. The main way we're envisaging academics using Teams at the moment is basically as a replacement for WebEx, so for live meetings, although as we've discussed, we've got the option of grouping students into private channels where they can discuss their group work. That's what we see as the use case at the moment. So possibly the best workflow for creating your meetings is to go to your calendar over here on the left, and you will see your options up here, including creating a new meeting, a channel meeting. Just give it the title of test meeting, but this could be your recurring meeting if you want, or a one-off meeting. So What you would do is, we'll come back to adding required attendees, but what you want to do is obviously make use of the fact that you have a specific team. So just type in some of the letters of your team and that should pop up for you. And you always pick the general here. And having done it, general is just the area where all of the members are in your team. So that's you said that you will invite everybody on this team to the meeting. If you want everybody to get an invite via Outlook, you can turn this on to send personal invites. So just returning back up here, if you have someone else, perhaps an external guest speaker or something of that nature, you can invite them here by adding in their email in here. That will invite anybody else who isn't actually a member of the team. It's important to have a look at your lobby options here. These will make things easier for you in a live meeting. So if you want just people in your organization, you can change this, but you can also have people in your organization and guests. So this is to admit to the lobby. Yes, it means that they have to wait. So there may be times when you actually want to, have people waiting in the lobby, and then you personally admit them. So that's up to you. So now we come down to your date. So you'll be putting the dates that you want for the particular meeting. You can set up repeating meetings here. So if you're going to have a weekly meeting, you can set up the options here so that will repeat, and that will save you the job of having to create a whole bunch of meetings. So that option is available for you there. And when you're ready to do that, I won't actually click on send because that will give notifications to people. But you would simply click on send, and that's you created the meeting. You have further options here, and probably the most valuable one for you will be setting up a co-organizer of the meeting. This can be accessed under roles. So here you can choose co-organizers. Like maybe if I invite Paul here, maybe I will have to run this meeting after all. Let's see if I add. Oh yeah. Just see if that. Oh, you're busy, Paul.
You're taking it in.
And so that means that I'm able to choose Paul as one of my co-organizers. So for obvious reasons, it's valuable if you can bring someone in as a co-organizer. And that's how you would set up your meetings or recurring meetings.
PowerPoint Live, what it does is it allows you as presenters to share your PowerPoint slides with an audience without having to share your whole screen. So when I switched from Jim, I'm actually using PowerPoint Live to promote PowerPoint Live. So Jim said over to me, and then what I did was to click on share at the top of the screen and then scroll down to PowerPoint Live and then click on the PowerPoint presentation that I wanted to use. And what you'll find is the most recently accessed PowerPoint will appear at the top of the list. And if your presentation isn't on the list, then scroll down to the bottom of the list. You'll be able to browse your computer and you'll then be able to find your presentation there. This is what happens. You click on your chosen presentation. The screen then changes to show that PowerPoint Live has been activated. And then it says that it's preparing your slides. And this is what you would see as a presenter. So it's all in one screen. It's presenter mode, but all in one screen. So your audience only sees the panel containing the slide with the red line around it. And it's only me, the presenter, that can see the notes. All the slides that appear in the presentation will appear along the bottom of the screen. I mean, this isn't a good example because there's just one slide there. And then across the top here, useful bits, private views, quite good, is popular with lecturers because what it does is to prevent participants or your audience from moving through the shared presentation on their own and perhaps getting to the end and then heading off. Chat, I'm sure you all know chat, but it enables you to see comments made and respond to questions and add useful links. And then next to that, you got people, which enables the presenter to see everyone and to see if anyone's raised their hands. So this is the next bit that I'm going to cover, adding recordings made in MS Teams to your Moodle course. And the first step, I'm pretending that I've just created a Moodle course, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do, and you're all aware of it, but it's nice revision, is to link my course to Panopto. Second stage is what Jim's covered. I'm just going to fly through it. I'm not going to go through groups, but it's a nice bit of chance for a bit of revision because it's creating an MS team for your Moodle course. And then the third step is to configure the setup so that recordings made in the team surface in the Moodle course. And then just to test it, we can test the setup by making a recording in the MS team and see it added to the Moodle course Panopto folder. So just to see that it actually works. And then the last two things are just sort of quick wins, really, how to easily access Panopto recordings when in the MS team. So you don't have to go outside the MS team. You can create a tab at the top just of recordings and all the recordings can be accessed there. And then there's also a quick win in terms of sharing recordings via the chat function. So if you can imagine in the general channel, a post plus, and you can actually add a recording as part of the post. First step, this is revision for you guys, but heck, it's good to revise. Linking your Moodle course to Panopto. And yeah, Panopto is our chosen lecture recording tool. So here I've created a Moodle course that I've called How to Add Recordings Made in MS Teams to Your Moodle course. It's newly created, hasn't been linked to Panopto. So we're going to link it by clicking on the edit mode. And then we're given the option to add a block. Brilliant. Click on add a block. And what it does is to give us a drop-down list of blocks. We scroll down to Panopto, click on Panopto, and hey, presto, there it is appearing amongst all the blocks. So clicking on Panopto on the previous slide will add it to the bottom of the blocks that are already there. Jim explained a way of actually clicking on this and then moving it straight up close to the top. You can also drag it. So you can drag the Panopto block up close to the top of the course by left pressing on that 4 arrows and dragging it up. You can also see that course hasn't yet been provisioned. So to provision it, click on Provision a Course. This opens a new window that will tell you that your course has been successfully provisioned, which is wonderful. So then you're able to go back to the course. What you'll see is that there are no recordings there. That's good, that's healthy. But a Panopto folder has been set up solely for recordings associated with Moodle course. This is pure revision as well, creating an MS team for your Moodle course that Jim's covered. So what Jim did was to click to edit mode and then add a block and then drop down list, click on ENU Teams. We're recording this, so you'll be able to go through this at a slower pace. Scroll down the block drawer until you find the newly created ENU Teams block. And then if you click on Request an MS Team, then that will do as it says on the button. As me and Jim have said, it's also worth dragging blocks up so that they're a bit more obvious to the user without them having to scroll. The message in the ENU Teams block, because I've clicked it, changes to acknowledge that a request has been made for an MS team, as it says there. Take a few minutes for the MS team to be generated. One way that we'll be notified that the MS team has been created is actually in the MS team, where we can see there's a red dot there which shows there's a new activity, and that indicates that a new activity has appeared. Clicking on this will take you to your new MS team. Meanwhile, back at the course, the ENU Teams block has a new message. The message has changed to go to team. Either route will take you to your newly created MS team. So we've created the MS team. That's what Jim talked about. Now we're going to configure the setup so that the recording that you make in your MS team will surface in that newly created Moodle course. So the way in which this is done is that you first need to install the Panopto app in the MS team. So here we are in the MS team. Okay, you can see that it's clearly linked to the Moodle course. Click on the Apps tab halfway up the left-hand side of the screen. Click on that. In the Apps search box that will appear, you need to type in Panopto. And then when the Panopto app appears, click on Open. Again, click on Open, that appears in the new pop-up. You now need to sign into Panopto by selecting the Azure IDP option from the drop-down menu. When that appears, click on Sign In. You should now see your Panopto homepage. What we want to do now is to set up Panopto so that any recordings made in the MS team will automatically go to this personalized to the course Panopto folder. So to do this link, we click on Settings. New window will include a list of all the teams. You need to find our newly created team. So we scroll down and click on the MS team link to the Moodle course, which you can see that's the right one. Click on that. And then further confirmation, we need to click on Authenticate. The new window, it shows that we're going in the right direction here, because it shows that the integration between team meetings and the Moodle course Panopto folder has taken place. So the link has been made, but we need to do more. It's not enough. We need to, within the default recordings folder, we need to hit edit. And then this appears, and in the folder field there at the top, we need to begin typing the Moodle name into the box and then select it when it appears. It's appeared, and then we click on Save. Should all work. We've done everything that is necessary in order to link a meeting that you've made in MS Team to reside in the newly created Panopto folder that is in turn linked to the Moodle course. Sure, we need to test it. Don't believe it until you test it. So I'm going to pretend that I've made a recording in the MS team, and we're going to see it added to the Moodle course Panopto folder. Okay, so we're going to go to the Moodle course linked MS team, which is here. We're going to make a recording, and then we're going to go to the Moodle course to see if it has appeared. So here we are, MS team homepage. Click on the camera icon, click on Meet Now. Oh, there's me in happier times. Click on Join Now, meeting of one. Okay, click on More, record and transcribe, and start recording. Boom. Okay, and then a short meeting here. We're going to stop the recording. Click on More, record and transcribe and stop recording. And you can see here that in the general channel of the MS team, that the recording of the meeting has been made. Okay, I don't actually see it too well. It's just 1 minute and 36 seconds, and it's just called meeting in general because I haven't named it. There's going to be a delay in saving the recording. If we just pretend that we've left it a while, then if we go to the Moodle course, we can see, oh, hey presto, that the recording has gone straight to the Moodle courses Panopto folder. If we can see this, because if we look at the Panopto block, you can see that there's this 1.5 minute meeting in generals that I've made. If we click on that, you can watch it straight away. Or if you click on course settings, you'll be able to see it, the recording located in the Moodle course Panopto folder. There are some quick wins I mentioned. This is what I'll describe now is an easy way of accessing Panopto recordings when in the MS team. To do this, we're back in the MS team. One way of easily being able to access Panopto recordings associated with your Moodle course is to add a Panopto tab to the top of the page. You can see there, we're in the general channel. Okay, there's the opportunity there to add a tab. You click on the plus icon to add a tab. There's Panopto there, all handy. Click on that. And then if you give your tab a name, e.g. Panopto videos, select the Panopto folder, the personalized one linked to the course, and then click on save. Any sessions that you've recorded can now be viewed directly via the Panopto videos tab. So there's the tab that we've created, appears at the top, and that's one way of seeing all the recordings. Another way of easily seeing the recordings made is via the chat function. We're back in the MS team. We're in the general channel and we've clicked on posts. We've got a new post here that I just added to the base there. Click on the plus icon in a message. Then one of the options is for the Panopto icon to appear. And if we hit that, then you're given the opportunity to search for the meeting. And if you click on that, you can see that it's appeared in my post. In summary, okay, so what we did was to effectively add recordings made in the MS team to the Moodle course. And we did this following those 3 steps. I pretended it was a newly created Moodle course. So the first thing I did was to link Moodle course to the Panopto software, the lecture recording tool. Then we created an MS team that is associated with the Moodle course. Then we configured the setup so the recordings made in the MS team surface in the Moodle course via the Panopto folder. And then we tested it, and then we put some quick wins in there, some quick links.